similar with the Togekiss in previous formats. I guess this is just another way to go about it. Instead of getting a stage 2, you just get a card in your prizes, and then you just flip heads. Why not? It is funny that it just naturally went into his prize cards. We'll see if that comes up at all. It is in an awkward position in the prize cards. But we're going to kick off round 7 here between John and Calvin Connor. And looks like we got the star of this brand new, Black Bolt and White Flare expansion so far with the Genesect EX.
It definitely feels like this has been the most impactful card from the set because it has propelled the Gholdengo archetype from a good archetype to leading the charge here at the World Championships. The most popular deck in the room, its Metallic Signal ability provides so much consistency to this deck. I mean, oftentimes players not even using Ultra Ball in their deck anymore because the Genesect just finds you those evolution Pokemon.
Yeah, you don't need it. Now, Cal is sticking with a deck that he this season, regional championships, international championships, this deck has won a lot, so no surprise to see it showing up at the World Championships as well. And he is playing a version with 4 copies of Monkey Dory. I think a lot of players realizing this card is extremely good. I win a lot of games when I get a lot of these in play and use Adrenabrain a lot, so why not just play 4?
Monkey Dory with its Adrenabrain has become one of the best cards, if not just the format warping card for this event. On John's side, he's kicking things off, going first. Does find Buddy Buddy Poffin in that opening hand, one of the best cards in the game right now for your early game consistency. John was able to use that to search his deck for 2 Pokemon with 70 hit points or less, put them directly onto the bench, finding a pair of Gimmighoul, and then immediately taps that Genesect EX Metallic Signal, finding a pair of Gholdengo EX. Won't be able to use them this turn, but thins the deck, increases his odds to maybe top deck a better card.
Yeah, and I think this is a big difference in what Genesect EX provides to this deck. For a while, this Gholdengo deck wanted to go second, and you would use Technical Machine Evolution to evolve up on your first turn. Now you have strong plays going first. All you need is a Buddy Buddy Poffin, and then you just need a Genesect EX on the next turn. You can search right for those Gholdengo EX and get off to a quick start. So you can see an example of why this is such a big deal for this deck.
Attachment for turn from John, Metal Energy down to the Gimmighoul, passes over to Cal Connor, does have an Arven, and right away will find the secret box. This has become one of the best A-specs in the game, which is kind of funny to say because for a while, it took players a good while to catch on to how strong this card really is.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look at all the other A-spec cards you have to pick from. I thought for a while, like, why would I play anything but Prime Catcher? And it's like, well, turns out just setting up your strategy is pretty good, and Secret Box is kind of a one-card solution that just finds everything you need. Part of it is that there's so many powerful effects at each kind of trainer card. You get item cards, you can get Buddy Buddy Poffin to find basics. The Stadium, even the Artisan, can get you a basic Pokemon. The Pokemon Tool can get you the Technical Machine Evolution to evolve your Pokemon. So it really is just this one card that kickstarts your whole deck.
Now, as Cal is doing his first deck search, he will be checking his prize cards. That's what we see right now. Organizing the Pokemon and the energy to the front, moving them back. That's what we see often from many players. He is going to find Technical Machine Evolution and the Secret Box off of this Arven, which he played. One important prize, I think, to note here for Cal is that Pheasantipity EX. Gardevoird does not have great draw power available to it in this build outside of Pheasantipity. So that is something, with that card not being available, it could hinder Cal a bit.
Definitely. Well, that's nice. that's like a dream scenario. You get to just throw away 3 Psychic Energy. That's what you're trying to do with Gardevoird. You need to get Psychic Energy into the discard pile to use Psychic Embrace. So, I mean, this is a picture-perfect start so far. If I'm playing a Gardevoird deck and I get to start with this hand every game, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I think at first glance, it would be like, oh my gosh, 1 supporter card plus 4 energy. This is terrible. But when analyzing it, yes, you want those energy cards in the discard pile. The Secret Box finds you a supporter card for the next turn, and Technical Machine Evolution can be utilized. Using that evolution attack, choosing both Ralts, a pair of Kirlia into play, and we know Professor's Research is now waiting in the hand for Cal on his next turn. Over now to John Ing, has the Air Balloon already in the hand. We know a pair of Gholdengo are there from the Genesect Metallic Signal. Looks like it will be used 1 more time. I think 3 Gholdengo in the hand, so 1 more can be found here. It does look like John did already have Air Balloon, which is another huge card to be reprinted in the Black Bolt and White Flare expansions. Now the question for John is, where do you want to go from here? Being the aggressor, usually a decent option, but Cal has got a really strong board already set up with that Drifloon and Bravery Charm.
Definitely. This can be a somewhat challenging matchup for Gardevoird. Gholdengo has enough HP that it's difficult to punch through. You really do need the Drifloon with the Bravery Charm, and a lot of these decks are now playing Tool Scrapper to kind of nullify that. So yeah, I mean, as the Gholdengo deck, you just want to start attacking, right? This is not a very technical deck, we'll say. It's just trying to make it rain, knock out the active Pokemon. It just does a bunch of damage. It's not a tricky deck like Gardevoird where you're trying to move damage counters all around and be very precise. You're really just trying to race and see how many prize cards you can get.
Coin bonus on the bench from Gholdengo yields John 1 additional card. Looks like the active coin bonus will be used, drawing 2 cards from the top of the deck. John needing to find some energy to piece together a KO. Has 2 in hand, plus the Earthen Vessel. That can find a few more, but not before using Artisan. Stadium card Cal put in play last turn. Both players, of course, able to use those stadiums that either player puts in play. John will search his deck for a basic Pokemon without a rule box and put it onto the bench. Looks like another Gimmighoul will be joining the party shortly.
Yeah, great starts for both players so far. They've been able to do exactly what they want. And yeah, it can get awkward sometimes against Gardevoird. Right now, you feel pretty safe because your opponent doesn't have, assuming you knock out this active Monkey Dory, your opponent doesn't have any Adrenabrain set up. Sometimes it can be a little scary, damage moving around all over the place. You'd have to be weary of, not giving up too many easy prize cards on smaller benched Pokemon like this Gimmighoul. You bench too many, You know, your opponent can pick them off with Scream Tail, that sort of thing. You're really trying to force your opponent to get the most difficult knockouts that they can. Force them to extend and have all these resources, and eventually they might run out. So you do have to be careful, and I would expect a player of John's caliber to know exactly what he's doing in this matchup.
Earthen Vessel from John discards a Gholdengo EX, searches the deck for 2 basic energy cards, adding them to the hand, a metal and lightning both found. That will add to the bonus the damage that this Make It Rain can do from the Gholdengo EX. We now know that there is enough energy in hand for this Monkey Dory to be KO'd. And John has not even played a supporter card yet. He's done so much. No supporter played, and it looks like Cypher Maniac is being debated here. I think he's got an Arven as well. What do you think here, Kyle?
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to put 2 cards on top of his deck and say, I'm going to draw these next turn. It is a bit of protection against INO as well. You know, if your opponent tries to disrupt you, put your hand on the bottom of your deck, you'll just draw right into these cards. So it doesn't really hurt to play this card unless you plan incorrectly, let's say. Sure. I've been there many times. You know, you search up 2 cards, and you're like, all right, I think I know how the next turn's going to go. And then you have completely bungled it, and then you know what you're going to draw the next turn. So it's good to do this, but you do have to get it right. Otherwise, it can backfire pretty badly.
Looks like John is debating between 3 cards here. Energy Search Pro, Superior Energy Retrieval, and Boss's Orders. Looks like the energy-related cards will be the choice. Boss's Orders remaining in the deck.
Yeah, so just trying to set up for the following turns. Get a knockout here while you can. And yeah, it's just going to be about attacking with that Gholdengo EX, and at some point, trying to go for maybe a Boss's Orders to knock out a Gardevoird EX. This is one of the decks in the format that is able to go after Gardevoird EX and knock it out in one attack. You know, stuff like Dragapult doesn't really have that option. You're only doing 200 damage to the active, but Gholdengo just has that raw power, and you can just push through Gardevoird. It looks like John is going to get that first prize card. It's the redeemable ticket.
Make It Rain, 1 prize to John and Cal. Connor, happy to promote the Drifloon. That is, as you mentioned, really his only way to get through a Gholdengo EX in 1 turn. Now, we mentioned, for John, things are pretty simple as far as his game plan. Attack every single turn, KO something on the bench sometimes with the Boss's Orders, bring it up to the active and then KO it. But for Cal, there's a little bit more nuance to how he could approach this.
Yeah, the Drifloon is the easiest way. Once you get the Bravery Charm, and it looks like he's going to counter catcher and go for this Genesect here. Once you get the Bravery Charm on there, you can increase Drifloon's HP enough so that it can Balloon Burst for enough damage. And we do see Gardevoird EX come down as well. So that's one way to do it. But another thing is you can pick off that Genesect EX. It does have a lower amount of HP, so something like Gardevoird EX attacking plus 1 Adrenabrain from the Monkey Dory EX, or the Monkey Dory can knock out this Genesect EX. So you need to find a way to piece together knockouts. You're ideally trying to get 2 prize cards on each knockout. It's not always easy to do it, though.
Definitely not. But that is, I believe, how Cal is going to try to line things up here. See that first Adrenabrain. There is 3 more energy now being brought back from the discard pile onto Gardevoird EX. 60 damage on it. That can, of course, be mitigated a little bit. Adrenabrain can move 30 damage from the Gardevoird EX to the active, and then with Miracle Force, that is enough to take the KO, getting rid of Genesect EX before John perhaps plays one of his 2 Professor Turo scenario.
Yeah, it's a smart move. Take the easy prize cards while you can. And this may seem counterintuitive, right? You may think like, oh, now my Gardevoird is in danger. This can get knocked out. I don't have access to Psychic Embrace. But there is a second Curlia waiting on the bench. Calvin might just feel like, hey, I got to be aggressive here. I'll draw into that other Gardevoird EX, or I'll find a Night Stretcher. It'll be okay. But really, those resources that are important are those Bravery Charms. You only run a couple. You have to make sure you use them wisely. You know, if you put this down and maybe the Drifloon gets knocked out before you get to attack with it, that can be devastating. So we'll keep an eye on what John wants to do here this turn.
Energy Search Pro being played, allowing John to search his deck for 1 or as many different energy as he wants, 1 of each type, though. One of the biggest boosts Gholdengo got post its release. You know, Gholdengo was an interesting card because it was solid, and when it came out, it's seen as like an okay card. But it feels like every single set after its initial release, it has gotten just 1 more piece set after set that makes it better and better.
Yeah, and you see John debating what to do here. He is now behind on prize cards, so he's thinking about using this counter catcher. Could go after the Drifloon with the Bravery Charm. Again, usually these decks only play 2 Bravery Charm. So if you go through the game knowing that you're maybe only threatened by 1 Drifloon the entire game, it's going to be tough for your opponent to knock out 2 Gholdengo EX before you're able to collect the rest of your prize cards. So that's got to be weighing on his mind. Maybe that's something you go after, but it is really tempting to just knock out the Gardevoird.
2 draws from the coin bonus, one of them being an interesting stadium John is playing here, the Academy at Night. Of course, it does combo with the Chansey that he's got in his deck list. You can put a card from your hand on top of your deck, use that redeemable ticket, get it into your prize cards guaranteed. But it's also just kind of a nice card for Gholdengo. One of the things that Gholdengo struggles with specifically is getting hit with a late game Iono to a very small amount of cards. Academy at Night can protect you from that.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. You know, sometimes the Iono, it hurts. Like you put cards on the bottom of your deck instead of having them be shuffled in, so you know that you're not going to redraw them when they go to the bottom. But there's the other side to that where your deck doesn't get shuffled. So when you put a card on top, you know you're going to draw it. So it's always interesting. We saw it a lot with that old Orin Guru, where you Primate Wisdom a card on top of your deck. Academy at Night, not as good.
No,
you don't get a card back.
Card,
yeah.
right.
So it's always interesting to see that card pop up. But yeah, it's a fun inclusion. I assume it's mostly for that Chansey redeemable ticket combo. But yeah, it has other uses. And especially when you're drawing so many cards like with this deck.
Very
using all the coin bonuses, so you just have cards to burn sometimes.
Very common to see a Gholdengo player's hands look exactly like John's does right now. 15 cards or something like that hanging around. Going to be even more after a superior energy retrieval potentially being played. And that will be utilized to bring back up to 4 different energy from the discard pile. It will be just 3, though. That's all that's in there, with Cal not taking a KO last turn, and the attachment to the Monkey Dory and the Academy Ignite, prepping for a potential Iono next turn. We'll use it, placing a card on top. It will be superior energy retrieval. 280 HP remaining on this Gardevoird. John just needs to discard 6 energy, whatever types they may be, in order to get this KO, and I think he's got that more than lined up.
Yeah, he's got a few. Yeah, it seemed like he was really valuing getting the Darkness Energy on the Monkey Dory as well to block any sort of plays where Calvin tries to leave damage on John's board. And yeah, I mean, he's got a great setup here. Also, benching the Monkey Dory has no downside, really. Your opponent is on even prize cards, so if for some reason they try to go after it and knock it out, they're not any closer to winning the game. So it's kind of a freebie to put that down here.
Now, just looking ahead a little bit here, Kyle, there is a chance that this game could be won by John Ng on the next turn. There is a chance he in the prize card.
I would love to see it. There's a lucky bonus.
He's got 3 prizes left, so if he was to take out a Gardevoird EX, which if Cal wants to attack this turn, he's going to need to put a Gardevoird EX into play. I mean, I guess unless he's going for a Mind Bend, but that doesn't seem super strong. There's a chance we could see that lucky bonus come up.
It certainly could happen. Yeah, that is just the kind of the X factor that you do not plan for in these matchups. I mean, when you're testing this for Worlds, figuring out, like, how does my Gardevoird deck beat Gholdengo?
Yep.
I guarantee you that the chancy lucky bonus throwing off the prize trade is not something you are factoring in unless you're part of John's testing.
Yeah, I mean, it is cheesy, right? But it makes sense. Gholdengo is a deck that you have the bench space pretty often open for it, and you find a situation pretty similar to this, I would say, often, where you take a single prize KO early, you're on odd prizes, your opponent is set up to go 2-2-2, you need something to offset that prize trade. You know, we see players use things like the single prize Gholdengo. We've seen players use Scizor in their decks. John and his friends decided Chansey was the way they were going to get around that issue.
Yeah, and why not?
It's the World Championships, right?
We've seen crazier things work.
Nest Ball being played for Cal, able to search the deck for any basic Pokemon and put it directly onto the bench. Got that Monkey Dory in the active. We get to see the second Gardevoird EX come through.
Yeah, that's going to be an important part of this turn. Need to find a Gardevoird EX or a Night Stretcher. I don't think you can really afford to take this turn off. And earlier you mentioned the Mind Bend. At some point in this matchup, I think that was a very viable move to buy time.
Oh, yeah.
But Air Balloon, again, is so impactful. It just makes it so that that play is a lot worse than it used to be. All it takes is an Air Balloon, and you can just retreat your Gholdengo to a different one and attack. Before, it was like, oh, man, I have this awkward decision. I need to commit another energy to retreat. Sometimes you don't have another energy on your bench to Gholdengo set up already, so it really made things awkward. You have to go for a coin flip. If you flip tails, you know, you essentially lose a turn, and that could be the turning point in the game. But now with Air Balloon, these Mind Bend strategies are a lot weaker.
Cal's got an interesting call here. Iono and Professor's Research in the hand. The Research would yield him a lot more cards. Iono only gets him 4. But using Iono to disrupt Gholdengo, usually a good strategy, but he knows John just put a good card on top of the deck with Academy at Night. He will choose to go with the Iono, but I can understand the hesitancy.
He only gets 4 cards. Well, there's an Ultra Ball. Okay.
Wow.
Well, that works. I'm going to say, you only get 4 cards. That's not a lot to find the one you need, but he does find the Ultra Ball for the Gardevoird EX. Card goes flying off the table, Chip. It's madness here at the World Championships. What's going to happen next? I mean, both these players are keeping up at their pace, right? Both players have done whatever they've wanted every turn of this game. And we're going to see another gigantic attack launched at John's Gholdengo EX.
Perhaps
this is still anybody's game.
It definitely is, and that was perhaps a calculated risk there from Cal. Yes, Research gives him a higher chance to find Gardevoird. Iono makes it a little bit less likely he could find it, but maybe he feels like he can't just leave John with that massive hand if he wants to win the game. Calculated risk, it pays off. He finds the Ultra Ball, gets the Gardevoird, and now is loading a ton of energy onto this Drifloon for Balloon Burst to get a one-hit knockout.
Yeah, he's got, let's see, he needs 1 more to get the 8 damage counters, right? 3 energy is just 6 damage counters?
He had 20 on him
20 already,
yes. Yeah.
All right, so that should be good. One other thing to note is that John did have the Tool Scrapper in his hand, and that did go to the bottom of the deck.
Yes.
Looks like he is going to put another energy on there, though, prepping for a big attack. But yeah, Tool Scrapper would be another massive card here that could throw a wrench into things.
Yeah, Tool Scrapper plus Boss's Orders wins the game for John this turn.
Exactly, but now that it's on the bottom of the deck,
yeah,
may not happen. He does have a Cypher Maniac ready for next turn, so we'll see. But
if he can make
Cal's trying to calculate, like, how much damage should I leave on my Drifloon. I don't know the answer to this, to be honest. You're doing enough here to knock out the Gholdengo. That's the main thing that matters. Go down 2 prize cards, and now you just kind of cross your fingers and hope things work out and that you make it to the next turn.
John here with the debate of what to send up. It's usually a pretty straightforward choice. You know, send up a thing with the free retreat, but when it comes to coin bonus, there's a little bit more to think about. You get extra cards whenever that Pokemon is in the active spot.
Sure.
Lavincia is found for turn. That's a way for John to get some more energy cards. He knows that there's a chance he prized.
That is true as well. So now it's trying to figure out, what do you go for? Do you go for, you know, maybe finding a way to shuffle your deck? I don't think he has anything in his hand that would let him shuffle. He knows the Tool Scrapper's on the bottom. You can just Cypher Maniac for the Tool Scrapper and do that. See if you hit the Chansey off the prize card you draw, see what happens, and then if you don't, you got to figure out what to do from there.
Remind me how it would work here with Chansey. Is it just whenever it's taken as a prize card, or is it only whenever an attack happens?
It has to be during your turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if a KO happened with the Tool Scrapper, Chansey would theoretically work. So that's something else John could be thinking through here. We'll use that first coin bonus, draws 1 card. And it will be the Chansey, a perfect thing to discard with the energy retrieval. Now things are getting a little tricky here for John, because Cal has kind of sneakily gone down to just 2 prizes left, set himself up to just potentially win the game next turn with a Drifloon, KOing a Gholdengo for 2 prizes. So John has got to figure out, can he win this turn, or what can he do to best limit Cal from winning on his next turn?
It's funny. It feels like there's something you should be able to do here to manipulate things. And he does have a counter catcher and the tool scrapper.
It does have enough energy cards, though.
I don't know. I mean, it takes a lot to knock out a Gardevoird, right? It takes 7.
Now, he does also know that his Pheasantipity is prized. So that's something he could draw after the tool scrapper KO that could get him more cards.
Very true. I was going to say, it feels like, you know, the cards you have in hand in the Academy at Night, there's something you could be able to do where you, like, Cypher Maniac, you draw one of the cards, the Chansey is the second card or something like that, you get the redeemable ticket, then you know exactly where the Chansey is in your prize cards, you go right for it. So this is really complex, trying to figure out the right thing to do here. There are many different paths to try to win this game. There probably is a correct one, but it is somewhat random, right? You don't know what the right order is, and this is where you just, you know, put yourself in a blender trying to figure out, how am I supposed to win this game?
It's definitely not clean here for John. It's not super straightforward. He is going to land on the tool scrapper and the counter catcher as the choice. And he has to play the counter catcher first, right? Otherwise, they would be tied on prizes. So John needs to use the counter catcher, and we'll see what he chooses to target after Coin Bonus draws those cards.
And it's funny, too, right? If you counter catch with a Gardevoird now and then tool scrapper, and the prize card you draw is the Chansey, then you have a tough thing you have to knock out, right? If you were like counter catcher, the Monkey Dory, and then tool scrapper, you draw the Chansey, you get an extra prize card. Then it's really easy to knock out the Monkey Dory. But if you do it this way, it's still challenging to knock out the Gardevoird. It's like, what am I getting off my prize cards?
The big issue here is the unknown of the prize cards, because we've talked about 2 of his prizes, but another one here is the Night Stretcher. And I actually think it would line up perfectly for John to get the KO if he takes the Night Stretcher off the prize. He has Superior Energy Retrieval in his hand. That's 4. He has the Levincia in his hand. That's 2. Night Stretcher would get him the 7th energy necessary to KO this Gardevoird EX on the bench. And Tool Scrapper plus that KO would lead to it, but he's debating the Tool Scrapper first.
Boy.
Oh, is he not going with the counter catcher? That feels like a weird card to have grabbed off of the Cypher, if that's the case.
I agree, yeah. What are you grabbing it for? If not to do it here, takes the prize card. It is the Pheasantipity EX, not the Chansey. And now another decision needs to be made. You still know that there's a Chansey in the prize cards, so you know, at worst, it's a 50-50 to hit the Chansey, which then is
another 50-50.
Oh, geez. Will this be John's lucky day with the Chansey and the lucky bonus? There's still so much to think about. This is a situation, you know, it's such a high-pressure situation. We're at the World Championships. You win this match, you make it to the next day of competition. But it's hard to know what's right.
Superior Energy Retrieval's being played. That's 4 energy cards from the discard pile back to the hand. Levincia, we know, is hanging around here as well. Academy of Night, I do not believe has been used.
I don't believe so.
So, yeah, well, and I'm not even sure if it will be. It is going to be Make It Rain, and cross your fingers that Cal Connor doesn't have it.
Which prize card is he going to take?
Is it going to be the Chansey or the
Night?
It's the Chansey. It comes to this flip. If he flips, the game is over. It is tails. Cal Connor has a chance to still close this out. He finds the counter catcher. That's not going to do him much good, but he does have Professor's Research.
How are we going to get a lucky bonus and it's tails, Chip?
Oh, my goodness.
Doesn't even pay off.
Right down to the wire. Cal Connor won his regional championships this year on a coin flip, and he may win this game on his opponent's coin flip.
That's crazy. I mean, what even goes through your head when you see that? It's like, oh, well, I guess I almost just lost. Anyway, I'll take my turn.
Yeah, absolutely. And counter catcher will be used now. Actually brings up the Chansey. So Cal, now with this play, will not be able to win the game this turn.
Yeah, maybe hedging a bit and saying that's got to retreat. Could get stuck up there. You could get in a situation where you Scream Tail, knock out the Monkey Dory on the bench. But then if your opponent just doesn't draw an air balloon, you're going to win on the next turn. So maybe a calculated risk, and maybe knowing I don't have access to the Drifloon and the Bravery Charm this turn, but I know I have access to just getting a Scream Tail.
I mean, I don't know, it would have been tough for me in Cal's shoes not to just play the research and look for the Night Stretcher plus Bravery Charm combo, but I think he recognized it seemed a little less than likely. So now Cal not able to close out the game here, has to figure out which way he can prevent John best from not winning the game, and John will need to find a way to move this Chansey. He's got 1 air balloon left, I believe. I think he has at least 1 of his Turo remaining. He does play 2 copies of that card.
Yep.
And Cal will play Ultra Ball, discards 2 cards. Down goes Lily's Clefairy and Iono. Screamtail is the card grabbed. Counting the cards remaining in deck. As a Mew, maybe looking for a little bit of help with a restart incoming.
We'll see what he's going for here. Turns out these games are kind of complicated.
Yeah, absolutely. I do not envy either of these players the spot they find themselves in here.
Yeah, I was guessing you go for the Scream Tail on the bench, Monkey Dory. You just INO your opponent to 1 card. Hope they don't find the air balloon. Looks like Calvin Connor has another plan in mind. Another Monkey Dory comes down.
Plays himself to a 0-card hand. This restart will find him 3 more.
Yeah, I think did use the Academy at Night to put card on top. It's like there's a Professor's Research.
And he's going to go in with the Gardevoird EX.
Huh.
Is he going to take this KO?
I don't think so.
Passing? Yeah, that is a pass of the turn over to John. Cal just saying, hey, I hope you don't have it.
Yeah, and I mean, this does take a lot of energy to knock out the Gardevoird, right? Even if you do have an air balloon, this could be a situation where you look at your opponent's resources, and if there's too many superior energy retrieval gone, maybe they just can't muster up enough to knock out the Gardevoird.
Oh, and a draw from the coin bonus.
Oh.
The air balloon. And does he has boss's orders, I believe, and Levincia and an energy. That'll be enough for him to close out the game. Just 1 prize card necessary. 3 energy discarded. John takes the KO and takes the win in game number 1.
Would have been cooler if he flipped heads on the chance, though.
I won't deny it.
Yeah, but John does take the first game there. I mean, that's exactly pretty much every turn what you're hoping for with the Gholdengo EX deck now, right? Start off with the Buddy Puffin. You have the Genesect EX to set yourself up for turn 2 to start attacking, and really didn't slow down his momentum at all. Gardevoird deck, I mean, again, put up a pretty good fight. That's about as good of a start you could hope for with that deck. So, yeah, I mean, if I'm Cal in that situation, feeling like maybe this is not a great matchup here, especially with that Chansey. That's crazy.
I think that's one of the reasons we've kind of seen Gardevoird not be quite as popular here at this tournament as we maybe would have initially thought. A lot of players recognizing this matchup can be a bit of a struggle. We got off to the races pretty quickly in game number 1. John taking that first KO. 1 prize card for him, taking down a Monkey Dory. Cal was able to respond. It had to be with Gardevoird EX, which John was able to respond to in flow.
Yeah, I mean, this is just trading huge blows back and forth. Make it rain, knocking things out. The Tool Scrapper was a big turning point and is one of the reasons that this matchup is so difficult now. Another new card that was introduced, well, reintroduced into the standard format, making an impact here. And then John did find that air balloon at the end. Yes, a top deck air balloon to let that Chansey float to the bench. So
Top deck
make
in
it rain.
the middle of his turn.
Yeah.
Cal's
My
gone-
favorite kind of top deck.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it's definitely John's favorite type because it led to him winning that first game. And Cal is going to kick things off. Did get to choose first or second. Does choose to go first here, which I think makes sense. You know, the Gholdengo deck can be kind of, it can kind of run the Gardevoird deck over if it gets to go first. You know, get a bunch of Gholdengo EX into play on turn 2, and it just creates a board state that can be really hard to overcome.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation I've seen players have. Like, what matchups should you go first or second against? And I think some players have decided it actually is difficult playing second against Gholdengo because they can be aggressive turn 2 when they go first, and they can do it very consistently. So you see a switch up in strategy or saying, you know what, yes, you get access to playing supporter cards first. You can play your Arvin first, but I'm going to get an extra turn of relief where you're not attacking me.
Checking up the prize cards here for John. I think I did see the Chansey and the redeemable tickets in the deck, so we'll see how aggressively he goes after that setup. That's one thing I am interested about with this list. You know, is it something that you just kind of do when it comes up, or do you really push for it and try to make that combo come together as quickly as possible?
Yeah, it feels like something I would try to force every game, and I would definitely cost myself games just trying to pull it off. There probably is a good balance trying to figure out when you should go for it, when you should just forget it's in your deck. But it is an interesting option to have, and it does make playing this deck a lot more complicated because you always have that to think about.
The prize cards for John, a couple Buddy Poffin, not too bad. He's able to get this first one here, but 2 energy cards, a superior energy retrieval, and that Pheasantipity EX being prized. Once again, kind of awkward things for him to navigate.
That's why I play redeemable ticket.
You know what? Touche, my friend. Touche.
We'll see if it comes up. Yeah, you know, every standard format seems to have some variation of a way to kind of look at your prize cards or, you know, mess with them somehow. We had the Hisuian Heavy Ball in the previous standard format rotation. I know a lot of people were sad when that card went away. Now it's the redeemable ticket, which, for being honest, isn't used that much. It is highly unpredictable. It does, you know, put your prize cards back in your deck, but then you put out new ones, and who knows what those are going to be.
Right.
So you don't see it used very often, but in these situations, it can still be pretty solid.
A pretty strong setup there for John A. A couple Gimmigool and a Genesect EX, and now it is over to Cal Connor. Had a bit of a decision point there. Does he bench the Screamtail or just discard it with Professor's Research? Does ultimately land on discarding it. Does still have access to it later if he wants it through the use of Night Stretcher. And Earthen Vessel will be found discarding a basic Psychic. Talked about why that is so good in game number 1. It'll allow him to find a couple more energy cards, 1 basic Darkness Energy and 1 basic Psychic.
Yeah, John happened to start with that Call for Family Gimmigool. That's
Does
a pretty
only
good
play
start.
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, a 1-3 split of the Gimmigools here. There's been a bit of debate, it seems like, between these Gholdengo players about which Gimmigool to play. There's also the continuous coin toss as an option.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big fan of those types of attacks. I love a classic. I need to flip, 16 heads to win the game.
Yeah, another card that gives you bad ideas.
I mean, you're already playing the Chansey stuff, might as well, right? Attachment for turn there from Cal onto the Monkey Dory, but no Technical Machine Evolution.
Yeah, no Curlia even. That was a pretty brutal turn, too. For Professor's Research, you're hoping to at least evolve into a Curlia somewhere, but yikes. That is not a good start, and this is not a matchup where you can really afford to miss for very many turns. This is not going well for Calvin Connor in this one, and John always talks about he has bad luck when he's on stream. We did stream him at NAIC, and he did lose in record time. I was there to witness that, and he has been frustrated at time, but so far, things have been going well, and he's keeping a cool head, so things are looking up.
Yeah, John's definitely a very emotional player. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he makes it known whenever he does not feel good about the way a game finished. I think he was overall disappointed in his season even. He had a pretty strong season, if you ask me. But, I mean, that's just kind of the heart of the competitor that he has. And I think we're going to see in this game why Gholdengo got such a big boost in play after this expansion. Black Bolt and White Flare. We're seeing the Genesect finding a bunch of cards. We've seen that Air Balloon used in the previous game. And John is just really firing on all cylinders here. You're seeing how consistent Gholdengo EX is now. And he's probably going to just run Cal out of this game pretty quickly. Cal is going to need to find a way to slow things down.
Definitely. Yeah, the Cypher Maniacs code breaking being played here lets you search your deck for 2 cards, put them on top of your deck, and then, of course, you can use coin bonus to draw them. It's always been fascinating. This effect has come up several times throughout the history of the Pokemon TCG. Players may remember Mallow, which was used with Zoroark GX. If you go way far back, you have Oracle, which was combined with Delcatty, or even Oracle combined with Old Bill, to just draw the 2 cards right away. So this effect has kind of gone in and out of the game, and it's typically only good in specific strategies, but I mean, getting to search for whatever 2 cards you want is always good.
Yeah, I know Oracle was a card that was a staple of that format, but then Mallow, when that card came back around for a second time, basically never got played. Very, very rarely did we see Mallow come up. Every once in a while in some Zoroark decks.
Yeah.
But
like
here,
one copy.
right? But here, Cypher Maniac, is acting much more similarly to how the Oracle initially operated. Now, John here able to find a few more energy from the Earthen Vessel. He's got that Academy at Night in the hand. Going to prep maybe a superior energy retrieval, playing around a potential Iono from his opponents.
Potentially giving up your chancey chance.
That is it's the risks we take here, and he's going to value hanging on to it. Okay.
This is what I'm telling you, Chip. It gives you bad ideas. But interesting to note, or worth noting, that John did specifically search out Lightning Energy to discard with Make It Rain, so that you can use that Levincia Stadium card to get them back later. So those small decisions do add up over the course of a game as well. And those are the kinds of things that you just kind of work through as you're practicing. Oh my, that's an ugly research. A rare candy. That is a card you need to get back into this game. Oh boy.
Cal does play 2 rare candy. Doesn't look like he found one. He did find a pair of Curlia, but it's another slow turn. He's got Technical Machine Evolution, so Gardevoird EX could come into play, but then you run the risk of that being KO'd. So now at this point, do you even go for the evolution?
I think you have to still. I don't know. You're so far behind. I don't even think his hand is very good.
Yeah, he doesn't
so
have
it's
much going on for next turn.
Yeah, so may as well search up some Gardevoird EX and hope you draw something. But this is looking ugly. Getting ugly fast.
Yeah, absolutely. John definitely going to be feeling comfortable here as he goes into this next turn. His draw for turn is another Genesect, not super useful, but something he'll be fine to discard through a superior energy retrieval. He will utilize Metallic Signal, searching out that last Gholdengo, extending it from the deck. Obviously, no 4th Gimmighoul in play, making sure that is not something he'll draw into, and probably something he'll be fine to discard as well to some other sort of superior energy retrieval.
Yeah, and that's just a bonus of the Metallic Signal. Obviously, it's great. The first time you use it, you get to search up your Gholdengo EX and evolve your Gimmighoul right away. But even later in the game, just being able to search out cards and put them in your hand, make sure you don't draw them again. Especially, I don't think this version is playing these sorts of cards, but if you are playing other things like Scizor, Revavroom, even the non-EX Gholdengo, those are cards you can just put into your hand as fodder to discard to like superior energy retrieval. So it's giving you resources throughout the game.
A couple of coin bonuses on the bench used. That's just 1 card apiece. Energy cards, Night Stretcher being found, and the final coin bonus yields 2 cards, another energy, and that's Zacian. The Zacian EX is an interesting card to see included here.
Yep.
It's meant as a response to Cornerstone Mask Ogre Pawnee EX, a card that has seen some talk leading up to this tournament.
It's not even Hop Zacian EX. It's just the regular Zacian EX.
Regular Zacian EX included in this. It's a promo card, I believe.
Yeah. It's like 3 energy, does like 210 damage or something.
That's right.
Like that. Yep.
That's enough to KO Cornerstone Mask Ogre Pawnee EX. It also accelerates energy to itself with its first attack. So not too bad as a response, but yeah, not going to be great here in this matchup. Superior energy retrieval, though, will be very strong. Brings back 3 energy cards this time. Can get up to 4. All John had was the 3. I think maybe he'll be content with just KOing this Monkey Dory here. I don't think he's got quite enough push to go for a Gardevoird KO.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he would have wanted this turn, but a knockout to knockout. I think Cal will breathe in a sigh of relief, though. A boss's orders would have been devastating on this turn. Your opponent, gets a big 2-prize knockout.
I wonder how vital it would have even been, though, for John to get a 2-prize KO here. I feel like he's fine to take a single prize KO, and he may even actually boss orders the Drifloon, Cal's only response here. This will keep John on those even prize cards. Now he'll be able to win the game by just KOing 2 Gardevoird EX or Gardevoird EX and flipping heads on Chansey.
Yeah, I think even more importantly is just getting rid of the Bravery Charm. That's a resource. That's the only thing that can knock you out in 1 hit is Drifloon with a Bravery Charm. And if you just take one out of play before your opponent even got to use it, that's a huge win. Now where does Cal even get all of his prize cards? So that's honestly just as good as taking 2 prize cards because it's denying your opponent from doing the same to you.
Right.
And that's a huge swing in the game as well.
Draw for turn for Cal is not a bad one. Professor's Research, that'll be 7 fresh cards. Artisan immediately bumps
we get to play
enemy at night, and yes, indeed, Cal does get to play the game.
All right, well, let's see what this brings. Not sure what you want to go for here. I think there is an energy on the active Monkey Dory already.
Mind Bend on the menu, potentially.
I don't know about that. That might be a little bit too late for Mind Bend. But with 2 Monkey Dory, you can Adrenabrain 6 damage counters over to the Genesect, and then a Screamtail can hit it for 160 damage and take 2 prize cards on that. So that's one way you get a 2 prize card knockout. You got a Drifloon in there with another Bravery Charm eventually. I don't know how you're getting the last one, but at least you got to start somewhere.
Maybe John benches another Genesect for you.
Sure, yeah.
Unlikely. A pretty good card to find here, though, for Cal off the research is the Secret Box. He'll be able to discard 3 cards from his hand and then searches his deck for one of each of the trainer cards, supporter card, item card, tool card, and stadium, adding them to the hand. And Night Stretcher can bring back that Screamtail that you mentioned. It did get discarded early on in this game, so that is the piece that Cal will need if that is the route he wants to go.
Let's see.
I wonder if he needs to go for some sort of... I mean, the stall strategies seem so unlikely, like a counter catcher on the Gholdengo with no energy.
Yeah.
John would get to draw a million cards, and he hasn't put in... he has 2 Air Balloon left, he's only put 1 in play, so that seems unlikely.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess if you have a counter catcher, even the Screamtail isn't particularly necessary. You can just attack with Drifloon for 180. Plus the 2 Adrenabrains, that'll do it as well. Looks like Cal will be able to get a big knockout here.
I think he actually could get the Drifloon KO if he wants it on the active.
Yeah, that is an option. You wouldn't then be scared that your opponent's going to play a Professor Turo scenario and pick up the Genesect.
Sure. And we saw Cal in that first game. He went after Genesect as quickly as he could because he knows that is much easier for him to KO than these Gholdengos.
But, I mean, when you're this far behind, you got to figure out any way that'll let you get into the game. Looks like, all right, is going to be the counter catcher onto the Genesect EX.
So he can get this KO with the Gardevoird EX.
All right, yeah, looks like that's going to be the plan. Try to make it as difficult as possible for his opponent to knock out this Gardevoird. Try to, whittle down some of these resources as we go along.
Psychic Embrace brings back 3 energy from the discard pile, 20 damage placed on Gardevoird for each of those energy attached. Now, of course, Adrenabrain can move that damage. We'll move 30 over to Genesect. Sets it up for a perfect KO here with Miracle Force.
I may be mistaken, but I think there should be 2 damage counters on the Monkey Dory. I think there was a Psychic Embrace there to let it retreat.
Yeah, I do believe you're right. Yeah, hopefully we can get that sorted. That should be the case, and all the damage was moved off of the Gardevoird. None of the damage was moved from a Monkey Dory. So Cal here is actually loading up extra damage onto the Genesect, knowing that John has his own Monkey Dory, doesn't want to leave extra damage in play.
Yeah, that is something you have to keep in mind. I mean, Monkey Dory is such an annoying card to play against. It's so annoying that even when you have it, you have to worry about your opponents.
Right.
So yeah, we're seeing this be a more common strategy now where you purposely over-damage your opponent's Pokemon just so they can't shoot damage back your way.
It looks like we've got that Monkey Dory damage corrected, 20 damage placed on it as it should be. Looks like the first coin bonus is up here for John. We'll use Artisan first, though, thinning a Pokemon out of his deck, potentially. There is still one Gimmickle hanging around. Might as well grab it out. I don't think I'm too worried about letting Cal take that odd prize card at this point.
Yep. Yeah, it does feel like John is still pretty favored in this game. If he can get a knockout this turn, he'll go down to 2 prize cards. Still have the prospect of a Chansey somewhere.
We just want to see it happen so bad, Kyle.
Yeah.
It almost happened.
Yeah, I mean, at least we got to see one played.
The ability was used.
That's true.
He did flip tails. I'm still sad about it.
It's still unsatisfying.
Gimmickle comes down from Artisan. Now we'll see a bunch of cards being drawn here. I don't really see many other paths here for John other than just KOing this active. No real reason to try to get around this with a boss's orders or anything. KO Gardevoird EX, take 2 prize cards. But what else on turns like this do you think are valuable things for a player to do?
Yeah, it's mostly just trying to set up yourself to attack in the next couple turns. Try to thin out your deck as much as you can. And you're probably going to have to play superior energy retrieval, so it's trying to get kind of like junk cards in your hand that you can throw away to pay for the cost, but also make sure that you don't draw these cards on future turns. You're really just trying to get your deck down to kind of as small as possible so that if your hand gets disrupted, you can just not miss any momentum and keep attacking. It feels like you may need to get, this turn is pretty straightforward. You just knock out the active Pokemon. Sure. Next turn, though, you may need a combination of things, whether it's a Tool Scrapper to get rid of the Bravery Charm out of Drifloon, or, boss's orders to go after a Gardevoird or something like that. So you want to get the knockout this turn, but also leave yourself in a good position to win on the following turn.
Having not played a supporter just yet, John does have options here. Boss's orders in hand and Cypher Maniac's code breaking. Now, the Cypher could be used to try to set himself up for the future like we were talking about, but he's actually going this boss's orders route. What's he got in mind here?
I guess he just doesn't want to see Adrenabrain get used.
Limiting Cal's options as much as possible, maybe thinking he wants to force Cal to KO with Drifloon, right?
I mean, a triple Monkey Dory is a way that you can knock out Gholdengo without a Bravery Charm.
Yep.
So that is something to keep in mind.
And then now if Cal is forced to go with Drifloon plus Bravery Charm to get this KO, John has the possibility to win this turn with Tool Scrapper plus Boss's Orders or Counter Catcher.
Yeah.
Iono being played, though, and John did not set himself up here. There's no Academy at Night. There was no Cypher Maniac, so this is where, as John, you got to hold your breath a little bit. There is the Pheasant Dipping in the prizes as well, so he may be left with just a few coin bonuses to try to bail him out here. Has Cal found a way to fight back here? He's going to be able to probably pick up a 2-prize KO here, and if John does not get the win on the next turn, Cal could potentially find a way to take his final 2 prizes.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I think, why people find it so annoying to play against Gardevoird. It feels like you're winning the whole way.
Right.
It's like, how can I possibly lose? And all of a sudden, your hand gets disrupted a little bit. There's a Drifloon coming out. And that's like, wait a second. Am I losing this game? Like, when did that happen? I was up like 2 or 3 prizes. All of a sudden, I need to draw boss's orders plus some perfect stuff. And then you miss. You're like, oh, I guess I lost. And that could be what's happening here. It looks like time did get called.
Yeah.
This is going to get a lot more intense.
Definitely. So Cal was turn 0. John will now be turn 1 here when he draws his card. So John, with 2 turns remaining, has 2 chances to win. This turn 1, or potentially turn 3. Cal will be left to just turn 2. And if Cal can't win on turn 2, John is going to win this set, right? If you go to time in game number 2, you don't have a resolution of game number 2, the person who won game 1 is the winner of the match. So John maybe could pivot the way he's thinking about things here as opposed to thinking, okay, how do I win this turn or next turn? He could just pivot his thinking to how do I make sure my opponent doesn't win? And if Cal can't win, John is going to close out this set. Doesn't even have to win this second game.
Yeah, I just feel like in this situation, those routes are probably going to be the same.
Sure.
You can't just ignore this Drifloon. Yeah, the easiest way to not lose is just to win.
I like that.
Silly as that sounds.
Someone needs to put that on a T-shirt.
Okay, we do see a Chansey.
I think Artisan found that Chansey. John just trying to thin the deck here.
All right. Didn't expect that one.
Yeah, can't say I did either. See the wheels turning here for John.
Yep.
There, now the Drifloon would get KO'd to a Tool Scrapper. So a Tool Scrapper KO plus Boss's Orders is John's easiest way to just win the game this turn.
Yeah, you do need a bunch of energy still. But yeah.
Yes, and that is the issue here with Cal having played Iono recently. John's left with not too much, and it seems unlikely he'd be able to piece it all together. Now, he does have Levincia left.
Yep.
He does have quite a few Superior Energy Retrievals, but not only does he need Superior Energy Retrieval, he needs cards to discard, and he's got to find them here off these coin bonuses.
Yeah, looks like he's got an Arvin in hand as well. So, well, Arvin doesn't really help you when you need to play Boss's Orders. The interesting is you could play Counter Catcher before you play the Tool Scrapper.
He could play...
Oh, the ticket.
He has the Tool Scrapper, okay. Yeah, the Counter Catcher is definitely something he could utilize here. Counter Catcher plus Tool Scrapper plus KO, and I actually, has he used Energy Search Pro? I don't think he has, and there's probably a handful of energy still in the deck. I think he maybe needed to find like a piece off of that coin bonus. He needed to find like...
Please play the ticket.
Oh, he's played the ticket.
We're doing it. Is the Chansey on top of the deck?
He's just got to hope it's on top of the deck?
Yeah.
He's not set himself up for this. Redeemable ticket, shuffles those prize cards, places them on the bottom, and he's going for the ticket, trying to put a Chansey into the prizes.
I got to see these new prize cards.
3 new prize cards laid out.
Oh.
No Chansey.
Ooh.
He
All right,
increased his odds for this play by getting one in play with the Artisan.
What's he thinking? He did have Pheasantipity EX in the prize cards, so that was not just a Chansey play.
This is what he's thinking through. He wants... Kyle, we're too focused on the Chansey, man.
We're not focused enough on the Chansey chip.
Nest Ball for Pheasantipity. That's what John was really looking for here. He needs to draw more prize cards. He can win the game by gusting Gardevoird, getting a bunch of energy, and KOing it. He's got coin bonus for 2. He's got Pheasantipity for 3. That's a lot of cards drawn. Does he find Levincia? Does he find Superior Energy Retrieval? And one of the downsides here of that redeemable ticket, he actually did put the Levincia into the prizes. 3 cards from the Pheasantipity. Does find Cypher Maniac.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to do it.
He can get the Counter Catcher. He can get a Superior. Probably not enough energy, though.
Now you can get the Levincia off the prizes.
Oh, he would get the... Okay. You are right, Kyle. If he were to go in on this play, Counter Catcher Gardevoird, bring it to the active, use the Tool Scrapper, take the KO, take Levincia off the prizes.
He still has a coin bonus, right?
Yeah, he does, and he could get the whole combo together here with this Cypher.
Oh, my goodness.
He does have Arvin as well. He's just
going for it.
Let's
okay.
See.
There's a Chansey, no.
And Turo. This is... Okay,
what a betrayal.
I don't even know if John can get a KO this turn, besides Tool Scrapper. I don't think... Does he have a Superior in hand? I don't think so. He doesn't have any energy. I don't think either.
Nope. So I will say the Tool Scrapper presents a very awkward situation for Cal. When this Drifloon goes down, he's going to have to figure out what to promote. Now, you might say, oh, obviously, send out Monkey Dory.
He does have Energy Search Pro in the deck.
He does have that, yes.
Yeah, okay.
But it's going to present an awkward situation. You would say, oh, I'll just send out Monkey Dory because it gives up 1 prize card. If you do that, I don't think he has a way to close out the game. It looks like, oh, my, is he actually going to try to strand the Gardevoird in the active spot?
Brings it up. He did just check Cal's discard pile. He's promoting his own Chansey, and he passes. This is what I was talking about. He doesn't have to set himself up to win. He just has to set it up so that Cal cannot win on this turn. And looking at the discard pile, there are no Psychic Energy. There's 5 on the Drifloon on the bench. There's 1 on the Gardevoird.
Only 1 left.
There's only 1 left, so he needs to discard the 1. He needs to attach a Darkness Energy from hands to retreat this active. And then he also needs to find a way to take 2 prize cards. I think John has possibly found the route that leads to him winning this set, even though he would not win game number 2 with this play. He's locking up the set.
Whew. Yeah, trying to figure out what Cal could possibly do here. Needs 2 prize cards. Yeah, the number 1 thing is you need to be able to move the Gardevoird. Yeah, I think you might just be locked. One of the ways you would win is by a 3rd Adrenabrain, but you need to attach to the Gardevoird to retreat it.
Right.
You only have 1 Psychic Energy, so you need to attach to the Gardevoird to retreat. So he might just be locked out.
He also has to discard a Psychic as well. Like, he has to discard a Psychic and attach, right?
That part's not easy either.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a way to do it in this hand currently. Earthen Vessel will find the 2 energy cards, but he doesn't have a way to discard them from his hand currently.
I don't know if there's one in his deck either.
I don't know. No, he's got 2 energy in his deck. It's a Darkness and a Psychic.
Well, I don't know if he has a way to discard them.
Oh, sure. Yeah, is that an Ultra Ball there? Maybe not. And even if it was, I don't think he has a way to find it.
And if you play Iono, you only draw 2 cards. You couldn't Ultra Ball.
And you wouldn't. Yeah, he's putting the energy in his hand off the Earthen Vessel here potentially. Or if he leaves them in the deck, and then Ionos, he can only draw 2 cards, can't draw a way to discard 1 and attach.
That's it.
And Cal cannot win. You see the fist bump. John Eng doesn't win game 2. That's what he had to do to win the set.
He didn't lose either.
Didn't lose either. And sometimes not losing is the best way to win. The 1-0 victory from John Eng. What a crazy sequence there we saw, Kyle, from those 2 games. The nuance that the Chansey added to the mix. We almost saw the lucky bonus for the win in game 1. Wow, what a game. Well played by both of these players. Cal almost found a way to fight back there in that game 2, which was so bad for him from the start.
Yeah, I mean, he was under a lot of pressure in both games. He had a horrible start in the second one. Even the first game, just great starts from John, and Cal tried to battle back, but there's only so much you can do sometimes. And hey, I mean, all the credit to John for finding the way to win these games. These were not easy games to win either, but he found creative ways to really make things annoying for Cal to piece together attacks. So, yeah, the first game is just, full steam ahead. Turn 2, attacking with Gholdengo EX. Had the Tool Scrapper at the right time. Was able to just take knockouts and close out the game. Really close one, but Cal just couldn't stop him.
Could not stop him. Did find that air balloon there. Cal almost found a way to slow things down. It was not the top deck, but he found it. And Boss's orders led to a 1 prize KO to close out the game. And here in game number 2, John got off to a hot start once again. Cannot say the same for Cal.